Sam Ray was home alone when he faced the most crushing trial of his life. It was July 2nd, 2015. The 18-year-old was working under his truck at his family's home in Nashville, Tennessee.
I used jack stands, went through the proper procedures at least. I got under there and found what I believed to be the issue, and I gave my dad a call and let him know what was going on, and he promptly told me to get out from underneath the truck. About that time, anyways, I slid the phone in my back pocket and I was getting out from underneath the truck.
It was then one of the jacks gave way. Thousands of pounds slammed onto one of Sam's arms and his abdomen.
It's a very helpless feeling. I accepted it from the moment of impact pretty quick afterwards, that I might not get out of this.
With the weight of the truck slowly crushing his body, Sam fought to breathe.
It was a very labored job to breathe. So what I'd do is I'd focus everything on getting a breath and then hold the air for as long as I could, cry for help and try to wriggle free as much as I could during that time.
Sam's only lifeline was prayer.
I was saved at a very young age, and I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt where I was going if this was the end. So it made the moment so much easier to deal with. It was still scary because, I had family, friends, and things I wanted to do, a life that I wanted to live.
Sam had been pinned more than 30 minutes when he heard a familiar voice, Siri from his iPhone. It was in his back pocket and was somehow activated by the pressure on Sam's body as he struggled to get free.
But Siri went off, and that's when I started trying to give voice commands and telling it, call 911.
Siri, call 911. Siri.
After several attempts, Siri responded.
911. Help me, please! I'm stuck in my car. I can't move. Help me!
The call set off a string of radio and cell phone alerts for first responders in the area. One of them, a volunteer firefighter, happened to live just down the street. Within minutes, he was able to jack up the truck and pull Sam to safety. Shortly after, a life flight unit from Vanderbilt University arrived.
When we first received the call, all the information we had was that we had a young man that had been trapped under a vehicle for, we think, about 30 minutes. So obviously we prepared for the worst, thinking that this could be significant injuries, especially having been under a heavy vehicle for a certain amount of time. Many times the outcome is not good.
Doctors feared Sam had several internal injuries that could cause long-term damage. Immediately, Sam and his family turned to prayer.
I think the biggest one was that God would have his will and way. Regardless of what the outcome, I knew he would have control and that he would bring it around to be what he wanted it to be. With lots of fear and disbelief that this is my son. This is something that's happening to our family.
Doctors ran a battery of tests to rule out any major internal organ damage, but only discovered a few broken ribs and burns. The very next day, Sam walked out of the hospital.
The doctor said he could not believe, with the truck falling on him, that there wasn't any more severe injuries than what he had, and that we were very blessed. I knew he'd been protected and God had his hands on him.
Doctors told the family if things didn't happen the way they did, Sam could have lost his life.
To see Sam leave the hospital in a relatively short period of time was very miraculous. Things could have been much worse if he had not been able to call 911 and get a first responder to assist.
Had the car come down even another inch and broken more ribs or done more damage to his spleen or bruised more lung tissue, any change in the way that went down, he might not have walked away at all. You can call it divine intervention, but he's here for a reason.
Sam's Siri rescue gained national media attention, but the Ray family give God all the credit.
God kind of has his hand in everything. So whether people call me lucky or blessed, either way I know it's God. So they can argue and say, oh, well, phone did this and phone did that. Nah, phone didn't do anything, it was God. Power of prayer, it works. Sometimes people think they're speaking to air, but God's there and he hears what you're praying. And no matter how many times you pray, he still hears you.